can see why I love this community. Victory, my friends. Woo! Thank you, celebration. You know, Susan, I'm gonna love you, so stand on up. Stand on up, sister. Susan Heinrichs. That's her legacy. That's her legacy, celebration. So, what do you think? I think Roderick's doing all right, right? Thank you, Roderick. I'm not going to tell on you, but I heard his status changed. He's now engaged, darling. Congratulations! You see why they don't tell me anything, right? I know. I love this community so much, and I'm just grateful I get to be here and do what I love to do as well. So thank you for the gift every Sunday. Thank you. So we're going to be talking about what's your theme song? Are you in accord with your divine knowing? Does your personal theme song sound like, nobody knows the trouble I see? Well, today we're going to take a look at what does the Ascended Teachers suggest about vibrating at a higher chord of truth in the world. You ever walk into a room and just kind of know something's off? Maybe you're at work, at a social gathering. Maybe you're even here at Unity Church of the Hills, and you see a group of people chit-chatting after service, and you start walking over there. And as soon as you get to that energy field, you know that there's a jangling in your gut that says, something's off here. No one said anything. The facial expressions haven't changed. There's even smiles on the faces. But in that moment, you know you are not in resonance with that group. That doesn't mean anything negative or bad. And here's the thing, it doesn't mean it has anything to do with you. What? Yeah, because guess what? Most things in life have nothing to do with us. Most things in life have nothing to do with us. It's simply a moment in time where the frequency that you are isn't in alignment with the frequency that you're bumping into, whether it's an individual's frequency or a group's frequency. But what's really interesting is when this occurs, we immediately want to, one, make meaning of it, two, fix it and figure it out. That's how our brain works, right? And so we want the formula. What's the logical answer? And often we come up with this answer of, they don't like me. Ooh, they were just talking about me. We don't know this, but that's where our brain goes. What we forget is that we're not just our bodies. Our totality is energy. Energy and spirituality, right? We are all those things. And according to Barbara A. Brennan, who many of you know, she's a physicist, author, researcher in the human energy field for over 35 years. She also created the Brennan School of Healing, and she talks about several bioenergy fields. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over it really briefly. I'm going to talk about the physical plane, the astral plane, and the spiritual plane. But you can look at that graph and you can see there's so much more, so much more. So the physical field basically is the lowest frequency that we have, and it regulates the human body. And then the etheric field is basically the blueprint for how we are physically structured. The emotional field, it regulates our emotions, our emotional state of being. And then the mental field processes ideas, thoughts, and beliefs. So all of those together, those are about the physical plane. And then out from that field is the astral plane. And the astral plane is basically a nexus between the physical and spiritual realms, and it's free of time and space. Now, the next groups are talking about the spiritual plane. And the etheric template, it holds our highest ideals for existence. And then the celestial body accesses universal energies. But the thing that really, made me inquisitive was the etheric body. And the reason that it's made me inquisitive is because of what we've been doing this season. This coming alive on purpose, we've been talking about our spiritual gifts. And the etheric body gives us the connection with our spiritual purpose. And this is the layer that allows us to witness our inner gifts and gives us insight in how to use these gifts for the betterment of the universe and ourselves. Now, we can dig deeper. You can see there are 12 auric layers identified, both as part of energetic and spiritual fields. There's so much to understand about this. So if you are feeling, ooh, I want to dig a little deeper, I encourage you to do that on your own. Go explore a little bit. But here's the reason that I'm sharing this with you. I'm sharing this with you to remind us that we are spiritual and energetic beings. And as energy beings, we have the ability to first become aware of the frequency that we are vibrating in. The frequency we're vibrating in, and then the second is to discern, what do we want to resonate with? What do we want to go into accord with? And we can choose. We can choose to vibrate as the frequency of love from our divine knowing, or we can choose to vibrate from the small self. And here's what the Ascended Teachers remind us. This is from Paul Selig's book, The Book of Freedom. And they say this: you are in vibratory accord with everything you see. Think about that. Everything you see, you are in vibratory accord with. It could not be there without you, individually and collectively. The chord that is played aligns you to what you see. Aligns you to what you see. And how you perceive anything claims it into manifestation. Now, we talk about this. We talk about this regularly, but I want you to wrap your mind around this. Again, the lens through which you view the world is the world you're creating. Do you get that? You can call that man ugly, and guess what? You've made him so. You can call those people evil. You have made them so. You decide that this is worthy. You have made that thing worthy. And the small self's directives become a shared construct. Powerful, right? This is what we're talking about, co-creating, my friends. This is co-creation. And the teachers are reminding us that we are responsible for going into alignment with, meaning we are responsible for what we make assumptions of based on our small self, which we know as the ego, the understanding of the ego. Now, there's nothing bad about the ego. So often we get into this place where we think, oh, got to get rid of the ego. No, we don't have to get rid of the ego. The ego is necessary for us to function on this realm. But what we need to be clear on is what's driving us. Is that our highest self, our divine self, or is it going to be the ego? That's where we have choice. And it's really difficult to conceptualize that our labeling something means that we've made an assumption of it. Don Miguel Ruiz, in his book, The Four Agreements, says this about assumptions. We have the tendency to make assumptions about everything. The problem with making assumptions is that we believe that they are truth. What? We could swear they are real. And when we make these assumptions, what do? We create drama and toxic emotions that we push into the energy field, not just our energy field, everyone around us, their energy field. So that's what we're talking about. And you're probably thinking, yeah, that's nice theory. What's that got to do with me? Well, I'll give you my own example. A couple of nights ago, Graham and I went out with some friends. Gorgeous night. It was like we ate outside, and I didn't sweat. Look, that was amazing, just by itself. Miracle. Austin, Texas, what? The food was good, the company was spectacular, great connection. And then we moseyed on over to the Parker Jazz Club, and we're listening to music, and the music is just, I love jazz. I mean, that's kind of like where I emote from, right? And I'm just really loving this, and we're vibing. And then they had a guest musician come up whose name was Doc Rose. And Doc Rose is a very elderly man, and he's also a neurosurgeon, but he loves to do this on the side. He comes up on the side, as you do. And he comes up, and he's got this Louis Armstrong style to him, you know, so it's like, you know, that kind of thing. And he's got the trumpet, and he's just going. And we're having just a blast. And then he starts to embellish some of those lovely standards that I like and love with some political words. I'm like, no! And now here's where I get to look at what assumptions am I making. Was this musician and the owner of the club who was playing alongside him privileged, clueless, racist? And did I even need to label it? See, I'm coming up higher. Do I even need to label it? The couple sitting next to us at the next table felt it was racist, and they were hurt, angry. Understandable, understandable. And maybe it was, and maybe it wasn't. I know that each time those words came out of the musician's mouth, my body twinged. But I had to ask myself, what would the label do for me in this situation? If I made the decision to label this as a racist issue, then it would force me to take action, to call out the injustice. Do you know I could do that well, right? But what if there was no injustice? What if there was no injustice? What if these two guys were just so privileged, so clueless, that they weren't even aware that what they were saying could be hurtful to anyone? And if the latter is their truth, then is there a need to call out injustice? Yeah, that's not what they're perpetrating. That's not their intention. But if it's the latter, then I have the opportunity to bless them, engage them from my highest knowing, if that's possible, and be the vibration of love. I don't have to make them evil. I can know that they too are of God, just possibly clueless and unawakened, but still divine beings, right, of God. And it's not always easy to do this kind of work in the moment. It's not easy, especially when we feel marginalized, when we feel slighted or demeaned. It's not easy, you know? But I'm grateful that in that moment I had the breath to breathe and do some of that work. So this was a good day for me. It's not always a good day, my friends. Let's be real, I'm human. I'm human. Don't put me on the pedestal because I'll come crashing down. I'm human. But in this moment, I was able to do the work of the divine. So when I ask you the question, what is your theme song? It's another way of asking you, what are you choosing to be? How are you choosing to create in the world? In our community, there's lots of musicians and dancers and artists and singers, those who just love to listen to music. And when we listen, or when we play or vocalize music, we understand that there are lower keys and there are higher keys. One's not better than the other, just is. We know that if the key is in that lower resonance, it's going to have that deep, right? that deep sound, that deep vibration. And if it's on the upper keys, it's going to kind of be like twinkling, right? And light resonance to it. Neither good, neither bad, just vibration. How many know that song that I started off with, Nobody Knows the Trouble I've Seen? Yeah. That used to be a theme song of mine, I'll have you know, back in the day. When I compared myself to Job, if any of you know from the Old Testament, like Job, everything that could happen was happening to poor Job. So that was my theme song at the time. And the song is known as an African-American spiritual because it's created by a blend of African culture and the American slavery. And it's honoring the pain and suffering endured by those who were enslaved with no hope of overcoming the struggle here on earth, but knowing it will get better in heaven. That was their hope. What's the vibration of this song, do you think? Is it high or is it low? It's a low vibration, right? And it's filled with mourning and despair. So if this song is a representation of the vibration of creation, what do you think it's going to create? Despair, what else? Sadness. Yes, it's going to create that. It's going to create that sense of fear, right? Powerlessness. What I want you to get from this is that there isn't anything wrong with that vibration. It just is. But it's understanding what that vibration will create. Can I get an amen on that? Amen. Okay, good. We are energy. We are energy. So that means that we have the ability to create from that awareness that we are energy. And to make the choice, do we continue as we are, creating more fear and separation if we continue to align with that rhetoric? The teachers say this: the kingdom, the awareness of the presence of the divine in all things, and it is here now, and it's always been here, but your alignment to it has been inhibited by the vibration of fear and collective agreements in separation. The individual, once she begins to understand that she is free, free of the collective rule, free of the established pattern, free of the decisions made for her and by her in agreement to the collective, shifts the frequency that she inhabits. When you know you are free, you know everybody else is as well. And you unlock the doors, the cellars, the prisons that others have existed in. Less through action, but by being. Being. Oofa. This is a reminder, my friends, that the Christed key is here. The Christed key is here. It's always been here. And we have the choice now to hear it, to hear that key. We no longer have to be enslaved to the vibration of fear and collective consciousness. We can make a conscious decision to align to this high vibration and create from that. That's how we change the world. That's how we change the world. And this happens when we claim our divine self, and the divine self knows no fear. It's free. And when we are creating from our divine knowing, we are creating in truth and love, both of which are high frequencies. So I ask you, what song is humming in your life? What theme song do you want to create from? So I do have a current, it's no longer the old one. I do have a current one. It keeps changing as I keep creating. And my favorite theme song right now is Keep the Beat. And it's from an animated movie called Vivo, V-I-V-O. And it talks about transcending the mortal plane to being the truth of who we are in our allness. It's really quite clever. And it's Lin-Manuel Miranda, did I say that right? His music is throughout this. So this is Keep the Beat, and I'm just going to sing the chorus, hopefully not too badly, to you to let you know where it is. All I can do when the road bends is lean into the curve. And all I can do when the tanks run dry is see what's in reserve. And all I can do when the plans break down is stay on my feet. And all I can do at the end of the day is play on, and keep the beat. Thank you for your kindness. I appreciate that. I love this song because it's the vibration of creation. I'm resonating in the allowance of what is, people and situations, while also being clear what's mine to be in the world. You know, being the senior minister, it may look like I just show up on Sundays and have fun. There's a little bit more than that. It's also running the business of church. And that means it's all God and nothing but change here. Do you get that? Yeah. So there is a thread of resilience running through that theme song, that sense of creating. And as my creation continues to unfold, my theme song's going to change, as I hope yours does as well. So I'm asking the question, what's your theme song? What's your theme song for this season of creation? You know, we've just gone through this wonderful fall time of finding out about our spiritual gifts and saying we want to create. What are you going to create? What's your song? Is it All I Need Is Love? Is it I'm Still Standing? Could be. Could it be Let's Stay Together? Whatever it is, I'm inviting you this week to take a few minutes to go into discernment, to create your theme song. What is your theme song? What's going to be humming in there that's going to lift your vibration to match what you want to put out in the world? And then I'm going to invite you to get creative. Post your responses on our Facebook page or our Instagram page. Maybe you're going to create a TikTok video. I have not done that yet. Scary. But then you can link it to our social media pages. Let us know what your theme song is. Maybe you'll create artwork. Maybe you'll make a montage of pics. Maybe you'll get together with some friends who still love you and want to create a video with you. Maybe you'll come on November 7th for our party, our celebration, and perform karaoke about your theme song. Lots of options. But however you choose to express your theme song, be aware you are setting your intentions.